Hi there, Commander Davis. You'll have to excuse the fact that my head's missing from the picture-in-picture. I couldn't quite manage to fit all of me in. You're not missing much. The key thing here is to see my hands and what they're doing on the throttle here and the joystick here. What we're playing with here is a CH Products Pro Throttle and a CH Products Fighter Stick, and this is basically a quick walkthrough of the joystick map that I've stuck up on GitHub for people to download. So we're currently all in parked up, and we will just go through a standard trade cycle, seeing as we're in a hauler. So first things first, having landed, starport services, so we're going to use my little finger here on the throttle, select starport services, and then we're going to use my thumb on the four-way hat down here just to navigate through the menus, up and down for the moment. So first of all, fuel and ammunition, select that, fuel store, buy some fuel, back we go. Down now to the commodities market, and I've got a hole full of clothing, so I'll select to sell that, and then this hat switch down here I can move backwards and just keep pressing it until I've got everything. Again, using the direction hat, move it down to submit. All done. Now I already know my trade route, so we're going to pull performance enhancers and pushing forward on this hat. Not quite got enough money for a full hold of them, so what we will probably do is take some progenitor cells across. Nope, they're also expensive. Agri medicines I can afford, and I will probably want 6,000 odd credits. Let's do this. Let's take 4 of those. Fill the hold up that way.
Warning, cargo hold at maximum capacity.
Excellent. So now we want to come out of this menu. Pinky button down here. I can hold that, and then this button takes me back a menu. It's effectively the same as pressing, well, it is exactly the same as pressing escape on the keyboard. We're all done here, so again, back out of that menu. And now we're into the normal ship UI. So using the top hat, I can look left, right, reset it by pressing up, look at the radar and menu as it is now by pressing down, and if I hold up it just pulls it out so you can get a full view. So first of all I'm going to move into the left hand view, the target view, and using the 4-way hat switch, or the 8-way hat switch was just 4-way up and down, left and right. Moving the left and right, I'm going to move between the tabs to navigation, then moving up and down, select where I want to go, iBootis. Select that, can't hyperdrive because we're docked, press up to get out of that, and now we're ready to launch. Now the throttle is fully back. One thing you can do with this map is with this wheel here is pull that back, that disengages the throttle, useful if your throttle starts drifting. Move down 2 on the menu, select that for launch. So what we're going to do here is use the thumbstick here and just press up on the thumbstick. So we're clear of the pad and aligned with the entrance. Using the stick we can now sort ourselves out a bit, center ourselves, apply a little bit of throttle. Let's go through the green light side. There's a few ships coming through, so we'll just give them a bit of a berth. The hauler's not that big, so it'll fit. Now you notice here I can use a yaw using my thumb on the side hat on the stick, just to straighten myself out. Speed up a little. Press down on this hat here, undercarriage. Not entirely sure what happened there, probably got caught in crossfire. And then pinky button and one of the hat switches on the back of the joystick which you can't see, press up. Set myself up to full speed with the remaining pips and shields, and we will just align ourselves with iBootis. So I can boost. Pressing this button here I take the flight assist off, pressing down on this hat boosts, and I'll stay boosted until I take my finger off this button. Pinky button, press down,
Drive charging,
and we'll start bringing the hyperdrive online. We're already at full throttle. So I'm going to throttle back straight away, basically because we're about to get dumped in front of the sun. Select using my panel select here, and we want to go down to Chango Dock, select that, lock destination, work out where we're going, and I'm start the throttle up and just arrange myself using the stick. And we'll head off to Chango Dock. So while we're in Supercruise, we've got a bit of time. Obviously you've got your roll with your joystick, pitch as well. Like I said, yaw is here, left and right. We'll use it later for docking, not at the moment, but if you press forward, the throttle goes, it's thrust forward and back. It doesn't work in Supercruise. Trigger here for shooting, pinky button and trigger is for secondary fire. And we can do things with head look. Let's turn head look on, there we are. Using the point of view hat on the back. Reset the head look using this side switch, and toggle head look with pinky button. And head look, so it's not working at the moment. There we go. Head look back on. I've also got systems control, so I can move power between systems, engines and weapon using one of the hats behind here, and targeting as well, which we won't really get to see today. We want to get ourselves reasonably in front of the station, so we'll deposit ourselves between the station and the planet. So we'll pull up a little bit, work out where the station is. And you'll notice I'm using 3 axes with this one hand. There's lots of yaw input with my thumb. And what we can actually do here is just basically yaw ourselves round. There we go. Disengage, pinky button and down. Full throttle because we're going to want to get towards the station as quickly as possible. There we are. So sort myself out so I'm slightly off centre for the station, and then flight assist off, boost on. So you'll notice this finger here will be staying down with the flight assist. And I won't make too many correctional inputs, because it's a bit of a pain to keep yourself level in flight assist, but make a couple. We start bringing ourselves to within about 10 kilometres. Reasonably well lined up, so we'll take flight assist off, back on again. And now we're going to start using our thumb on the thumbstick, on the throttle here, to start providing lateral controls. Now we're close enough that we want to request docking.
Request granted.
So we're now going to be using 5 axes with the thumbstick, yaw with the thumb, roll and pitch, gear down, reset power, and that will slow us right the way down. So we can now make a nice sedate approach to the station. Plenty of room with the hauler, you can actually go in sideways. Pad number 13, which looks to be above me, so I'm going to take throttle off, spin ourselves round. And actually while we're in the station, I'm not going to apply any more throttle using this. there's pad number 13. Using my thumb here, I can go forward and backwards, little nudges. Now we've got nearly 9 minutes to dock, and you'll notice if I take my hands completely off the controls, because the throttle is back, I'm not moving anywhere, so I don't have to panic about doing anything. I can just sort myself out, little inputs to get myself down. Not entirely sure if there's going to be a strut behind me. If you look directly ahead, there's a strut coming down from the end of the station down to the edge. There's normally one behind as well. I've hit that quite a few times when docking. So we'll just do little inputs, so if we do hit things, it doesn't really matter. So we've got the docking control up now, and it becomes very, very simple to line yourself up, beautifully straight, level, and just gently lower yourself down. If you drift off, little corrections, so you're going forward and back with the joystick here, left and right with the thumbstick, down with the thumbstick. Lever yourself out, you can pitch yourself round, nail it as much as you want.
Docking successful.
And you're down. As you get more familiar with that, it becomes a lot easier and you end up doing it a lot faster. So we're back pretty much where we started, into Starport Services. Refuel. Oops, we should buy the fuel. There we go. Into the commodities market. And we want to sell these. There we go. We're going to leave the cargo empty for the moment. Let's head out of this, head out of here. One thing we haven't looked at is the galaxy map. There's a few overrides with the galaxy map. So we can still use our point of view hat switch on the throttle to navigate between the tabs and move around. It's a little bit of a pain. I've actually got a mouse down here that I tend to use for galaxy map, but you can just about get away with just the joystick. And then you can use the stick to pitch and yaw, and then you can use the thumbstick to move yourself around, and then I've mapped the side hat so you can go up and down, and then this hat here to zoom in and out. It sort of allows you to navigate around, but I find it a lot easier just to grab the mouse and find out where I want to go, select the target, and then you can bail out of that menu. Finally, we'll launch. There's that
Released. Engines engaged.
strut I was talking about. So let's just get ourselves out of the no-fire zone. Cool. So there's a few things to note with the map. I've got some macros set up, so pinky button and right on the one of the hats on the joystick sets you up for all power into systems and some into engines. Generally, if you're under attack and you want to get your shields
Detecting hostile scan.
nice and gone, that's the best thing to select. We can also do all to engines and all to weapons. Basically it's always going to have pips in engines, it's just whether you want pips in systems or weapons. And then of course you've got the ability to reset and move things around, all on the same hat. The last thing that hat does is rig you for silent running.
Rigged for silent running. Silent running off.
And let's just recharge our shields quickly. So, trigger button pulls your laser out, such that it is on this ship. Let's go shoot us a planet. I don't have a secondary laser on here. but what you can do is hold down pinky and pull the trigger, and that would do secondary if I had it. There is also the ability to pop a heatsink using the top button up here if you have heatsink launchers. I don't. And then you're targeting. Not a huge amount of ships. None at all at the moment. Let's get Chango locked. Unlocked. There we go. Let's see if we can't get some ships coming in. There's something. So we'll boost towards him. So we can switch between the Cobra, Chango dock. Just using the targeting. If there are enemies, I could use the same hat to toggle between the enemies and pick the nearest threat. There isn't a hostile in range, and just pick what's in front of me. Reversing. Oops. Up on that hatch switch, not down. And then you can use your throttle to control how far you're reversing. So, full speed backwards, or all stop. A few other things, you've got your fire grips if you've got any set up, with the left and right here, and then with the pinky button you can control sensor range. And now we've actually got quite a lot of contacts up on the sensor. So we should be able to select something and then maybe have a toggle through the systems. Not going to engage him because this is not a fighter. So, let's get some docking. Gear down. Just get ourselves aligned with the docking port. Fairly slow ship, so I'm going to go in at a reasonable lick. On pad 12, which is there. Oops. So the throttle is now completely disengaged. Pad 12. There we go. Forward a bit. Straighten ourselves out. Job done.
Successful. Engines disengaged.
Well, hopefully that's been useful. Just a little bit of an extra guide to the joystick maps I put together. Cheers.